At the beginning of Book 2, Chapter 7, Winston wakes up crying after a revealing dream that he had of a childhood memory that he blocked out of his mind.
"Do you know," he said, "that until this moment I believed I had murdered my mother?" "Why did you murder her?" said Julia, almost asleep. "I didn't murder her. Not physically."
Winston describes having to scavenge everywhere for food in order to survive.
He remembered long afternoons spent with other boys, scrounging around dustbins and rubbish heaps, picking out the ribs of cabbage leaves, potato peelings, sometimes even scraps of stale bread crust from which they carefully scraped away the cinders. Above all, he remembered his continuous hunger, and the fierce, sordid battles at mealtimes. He would ask his mother naggingly, over and over again, why there was not more food. He would shout and storm at her, or he would attempt a sniveling note of pathos in his efforts to get more than his share. One day, a chocolate ration was issued. It was a 2-ounce slab between the three of them. Suddenly, as though he were listening to somebody else, Winston heard himself demanding in a loud, booming voice that he should be given the whole piece. His mother told him not to be greedy. In the end, his mother broke off 3/4 of the chocolate and gave it to Winston, giving the other quarter to his sister. Then, with a sudden swift spring, he snatched the piece of chocolate out of his sister's hand and was fleeing for the door. "Winston, Winston," his mother called after him. "Come back. Give your sister back her chocolate." His mother drew her arm around the child and pressed its face against her breast. He turned and fled down the stairs with the chocolate growing sticky in his hand. He never saw his mother again.
Winston theorizes that his mother and sister either died or were moved to a forced labor camp. He then reflects on the symbolism behind this arm gesture, a seemingly meaningless action of his mother, a parallel to the same gesture he'd seen recently.
When the last of the chocolate was gone, his mother clasped the child into her arms. It was no use, it changed nothing. It did not produce more chocolate. It did not avert the child's death or her own, but it seemed natural to her to do it. The refugee woman in the boat also covered the little boy with her arm, which was no more use against the bullets than a sheet of paper. The terrible thing that the party had done was to persuade you that mere impulses, mere feelings, were of no account, while at the same time robbing you of all power over the material world.
Winston realizes that the proles have kept their impulses, regardless of their political meaning, which resembles a certain hope for the society in 1984 as a whole. Most people have lost all their humanity for the sake of the party, but the proles have not, so humanity is not completely lost just yet, despite the government's constant oppression. Winston and Julia then get into a conversation about staying together, even though they know that it won't end well for them. They conclude,
"Confession is not betrayal. What you say or do doesn't matter. Only feelings matter. If they could make me stop loving you, that would be the real betrayal." She thought it over. "They can't do that," she said finally. "It's the one thing they can't do. They can make you say anything, but they can't make you believe it. They can't get inside you. They could not alter your feelings. For that matter, you could not alter them yourself, even if you wanted to. They could lay bare in the utmost detail everything that you had done or said or thought, but the inner heart, whose workings were mysterious even to yourself, seemed impregnable."
This whole dialogue is supremely ironic given the context behind the book's ending, where Winston gives in completely to Big Brother, and he and Julia stop loving each other entirely. It goes to show that, despite all hopes, confidence, and determination in one's sense of self and morality, a government such as 1984's will inevitably crush them, which is the main message of the book. A government must remain in check, or it will oppress beyond belief, and one day, nobody will be able to do anything about it.